now, and that's I'm not only live here, but I'm also, see that? I'm live there. Hi. Okay. And the camera up there is producing the image that is here. All right. And this is cool. What YouTube has done is allowed a very quick setup of YouTube Live on the desktop. It's push button easy. Okay, let me show you what's happening here. This is the image. All right, this is me right down here. Okay, and what's going on is that I've got the chat over here. Nobody's here. I've got, if the volume, the more I talk, the more this green button goes across. See that? Ta-da! All right. Then I can type down here. You can see me looking down right here, okay? And got one viewer, which probably is just me, okay? And yeah, that's it. This is on the desktop. This is cool. This is really cool. And so I've got now two cameras. I've got this one set up. I'm using YouTube Live Mobile. So if I put this right next to the camera here, as I'm doing, all right, now I've got two cameras, a two camera vantage point, okay, at the so now they're pointing at each other. Two cameras at the same time. I've got a two camera vantage point like that, trying to make this thing stay steady. It won't. See, now that I think it's got a little angry with me for bringing in competition. Just kidding. Because now it was working right, and now it's not working right because the camera has decided. This is what it's doing, folks. Take a look at this. This is what it's doing, right? I'm trying to position this. It's sideways that way, producing this image. I'm trying to turn it back here, right? So I'm trying to make it stay, but then it does that, right? So it's, come on. I mean, all right. So I gotta bring. Oh, okay. Now, gotta bring. See this dangling in the air, producing this image, right? Just trying to bring this around like that so that it points right back here, okay? So that you can see, voila, there I am. This is pretty cool, all right? This is pretty cool. And now, will I do a live stream this way with two cameras? I could see where I would want to do that, where I might have somebody with the back audience there, right? And then have another person in the front, or, switching camera views like from here to here, right? Because and then I can switch around with this camera. So it opens up a lot of possibilities. Although what I want to do is use my smartphone to make calls and then use my desktop. The only issue I have with this version is, as you can see, my face is not as bright, it seems. It's a little, it looks like it's a little, also I think this is part of the reason, the situation of the camera though. Let me see if I can move that so it's better or lower. But yeah, so now it's closer to me and I look up, right? But my head is still more at the bottom than the top. So I prefer my head to be here without raising the chair. Whereas interestingly, when I put this here and put this like that, right, you get a better picture. It's interesting. Something to work on, but this is darker. This version of my face is darker than on live. This is brighter, and that's because this is using the brighter, in this case, this isn't 4K. The front lens is 4K, but the camera systems here are better at low light than this Logitech camcorder that I'm using. All right. That's the main difference here. Okay. Anyway, testing it out. The bottom line is, camera related issues aside, and they are camera related, not system related, it works. Woo! YouTube Live Desktop works. Woo! YouTube Live Desktop works. Woo! All right. And in the Heart of Comedy says, "Yo, hey yo, Heart of Comedy, how you doing?" All right, folks. I'm going to go back to this live stream right here, but I wanted to officially announce this new YouTube system. Hey, Heart of Comedy, tell me something. Do you see 2 live streams up on Zennie 62? Let me know. I'm waiting for your type text because I don't see you here, right? You're not here. You're obviously on my mobile live. But if you go to the front channel, do you see 2? I mean, I can go to the front channel and check myself. I'm curious to know what you see. Let's go to the front page of Zennie 62 and have a look real quick here. Fun tech stuff. Make your own platform. Don't be a slave to Facebook. Okay, let's see here. Going to YouTube. Let's see what's going on here. Boom. And yeah, you can. Okay, yeah. So what we've got here, as you can see, and the Heart of Comedy has told me, right, is we have, I don't want that thing. Cancel. Cancel. All right. Channel art. Cancel, please. Cancel. Get rid of that. Ugh. I'm trying to cancel this out. Cancel, 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 cancel. Trying to show you all something and the doggone Chrome won't cooperate. Let me try something here. Refreshing the screen. It should give me the channel page, and it does. Okay. Now, if I scroll down, I can now show you, yes, thus. This is cool. You got to see this. This is cool. I have 2 live streams at the same time. Look at that. See that? Bam! 2 live streams at the same time. Zennie 62 NFL News. See how this is darker than that one? Okay. Something to note. All right. One is darker than the other. Got to have better lighting for this one than that one, but this does work. And that one is using, excuse me, this camera. Okay. So it's better mobile. Oh, you like both? Heart says you like both streams. Oh, cool. You like both streams. Interesting. Okay. All right. I'm going to stop the mobile stream. Go to the NFL stream. Switch over to that one because I'm going to stop this one. I was showing the YouTube system. For folks, if you're here, I'm going to stop this one in 10 seconds. Please go over to the NFL news stream. All right. 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Shifting over by turning this off right now. Thank you. Done. Okay. Now I'm back, folks. That is so cool. That is massively cool. Hey, everybody. Hey, Bible study. Welcome. How are you doing? Heart of Comedy. Yo. Welcome, everyone. I'm writing welcome to the new version of YouTube Live Desktop. What is cool? You asked Bible study, PJ. What is cool is this new system that I'm using for an YouTube desktop mobile. All right. Take a look. All right. This is really massively cool. This is on the desktop. Okay. Right here. All right. See that? That's it. Now that you're here, I'm going to get to the NFL news. And I'm going to get to the NFL news. I've got to make a quick phone call. And at the same time, demonstrate how cool it is that I now have some freedom that I didn't have before. Bear with me for one moment, please. But this is a very important phone call I've got to make. Okay. One moment. Okay. Good afternoon. Jessica Colvin, please. Yeah, Zennie Abraham trying to reach her. Thank you. Hey, Carrie, my name is Zennie Abraham calling again from Ms. Coleman. How are you? Very well, thank you. Yeah, I called earlier today.
Yeah, I sent her your message. She hasn't had a chance to make any calls yet.
Oh, okay. Oh, okay. Well, I'm trying again. All right.
Okay, yeah, she does have your message, and I'll leave her another note that she called again.
All right, thank you so very much. I appreciate it.
You're welcome. Have a good one.
Oh, you too. Okay, bye. Well, folks, I was trying to call Clark County Chief Financial Officer Jessica Colvin to ask her about why she seemingly is pushing this very expensive bond issue of $750 million that has a monthly debt coverage requirement that has been well in excess of the monthly revenue produced by the Clark County Stadium Hotel tax. In fact, the new information has just come out about that. I don't know if you've seen it or not, but it is up. And let me recite it, to you. And I think, among other things, I thank his name is Malcontent for keeping me up to date with information he thinks is important, because he thinks I might think it's more important. In this instance, the information is the revenue report. And everyone keeps telling me, Zennie, they say the stadium revenues are above projections. And the projections have to do with stadium authority budget, not a test of a bond issue. And so that's commonly confused. One has nothing to do with the other. The projections were for the stadium authority revenue itself. But even with that, let me show you where we're at. Okay. Have a look at this, folks. I want to make sure that you can see this. Turn this around like that. That's the chart. Let me see how the chart looks, by the way. Yeah, see if you can see. Yeah, you see that I'm trying to line this up so you can. Yeah, okay, so now I'll bring it back here. All right. That's the chart. These are the numbers you need to pay attention to, okay? And what you need to pay attention to right now is the difference between budget and actual is only $209,000. That is 0.8% difference. And that's just with its own budget. This is not a bond issue test, okay? These actual numbers, and I've got to replace January. January I have 40.3 million. This is 4.7 million. But my point is that these numbers here, okay, only once were they over 5 million. They were never over once here over the required $4.86 million hurdle rate for a bond issue that would be 750 million. 750 million over 30 years, assuming that it's AA rated. Now that AA rating would be a bargain. Okay, that would be a complete bargain if they were able to achieve it. More than likely, they'll achieve a single A plus rating. What that means, folks, is that the lower the rating, the more expensive the monthly payment for the bond issue. All right. The money that's coming in does not meet that test. And so thanks to Clark County Commissioner Christian Giuliani, who provided me first with Ms. Coleman's email, to which I sent her a letter, a memo, and then with Ms. Coleman's number, I have tried to contact Ms. Coleman to ask her to explain her support for a bond issue that's really out of the ordinary. First of all, a bond issue of this size normally has what's called a 2-to-1 debt coverage ratio. What does that mean? Oh, by the way, Heart of Comedy, thank you for being here. It means that the numbers that I showed you, real simple. It would mean that if you took the monthly payment for the bond issue, and then multiplied that times its debt coverage ratio, the multiple would be not 1.5, it would be 2. So that means you would have to make that much more money. Instead of, say, $5 million, you would have to bring in, say, about $5.6 million, almost dollars per month. The use of that debt coverage ratio would make this bond undoable by that tax rate. As it is right now, you can't do it because you don't have the majority of your months. You only have 1 month where you've cleared it. The other months you have it. So you can't do it. But at 2, anybody would look at it and say, you crazy, you have this gigantic gap. You don't want to play these margins like this. You want to have a clearance. Let me give you an example what I'm talking about right in the backyard of the Stadium Authority, and that's the Las Vegas Convention and Visitors Bureau. Do you know what their common bond debt coverage ratio is? It's not 2-to-1, it's 3-to-1. And the reason it's 3-to-1 is because they know they don't have the luxury of dipping into the Clark County General Fund. They have a more conservative and more careful approach than is being exhibited in this instance. Okay, so that's the update. But the news right now is, hey, you know what? These revenues, I don't care how you slice them, they still have a problem. By the way, last year, January, there was no tax collection. And given that January's visitor numbers were better in 2017 and 2018, I'll bet you they would have cleared 5 million. But this time it's only 4.7 million. Fewer visitors this time, fewer conventioneers by 100,000 in Las Vegas in January. Okay. All right, moving to other news. I tried to get my friend Mike Silver to come on and talk about Nottingham Sue. Nottingham Sue is not coming to the Raiders. Nottingham Sue is not coming to the Raiders. That's horrible. And it's a sad statement on things that the Raiders never even get him in the building. I think what happened was that Nottingham Sue probably saw my video where I said that if he comes in the Raider headquarters, kidnap him. Don't let him out. Okay? I really believe that's what happened. They said, I really believe that's what happened. It's like, oh my God. They let this guy in the building. You know what? It's Katie barred the door, right? I really believe that's what happened. Okay? They just said, hey, so Nottingham got on his private plane, said, oh man, then Zennie's going to get me kidnapped by the Raiders. I can't have that. I'm going to stay home. I'm going to think about that Rams deal. I'm going to think about that Saints deal. I think he's looking, all kidding aside, I think he's looking for money. I really do. I think he's looking for more money than the Raiders can offer. And he probably took a look at the situation. Well, I don't know. He may have looked at the cost of living versus in the Bay Area too. And in fact, I think that would definitely play a factor in why he just canceled. He probably looked at the housing costs around here and said, forget it. I think someone needs to ask him if that was also a factor in his canceling. All right. Because I think it may very well be a possibility. I'm playing around with this camera angle. Let me see if I can get something that's a bit better here. Maybe this could work. Where could this be? Where can this go that produces a better angle? That is at the door there. Or actually, that's pretty good. It's got the door open though. That's the thing. I have to go and shut the door, right? So let me get up and shut the door. Hold on a second. It's, if anything, what it is the camera. There. All right. Once again, I'm in the upstairs office. This is not the basement. This is not my bedroom. This is not the kitchen. This is not the living room. All right, we got a lot of rooms around here. Okay, so anyway, it's funny how this camera keeps biasing itself toward the high end. That's better. That's interesting. I'm still adjusting this because I'm using this new, well, it's not a new Logitech camera. I've had it for some time, but I'm using it now for this YouTube live. That's better. That's better. I think I've got, let me see here. Just a little bit more. Just a little bit more. Right there. See, does that do it? I'm lining it up. That does it. Yeah, perfect. Yay, it works. All right. Woo! Okay, folks. Again, if you're new and you're wondering what the heck I'm doing, I'm using the YouTube desktop for the first time. I've got my smartphone here, okay? And I'm gonna have some fun. If you are watching this and you want to call in, we can go for it. It's a little buffering here. I don't know if this is buffering for you, all right? But because now I can take calls. I can take calls via Skype before, but now I don't have to worry about setting up Skype, right? All I have to do is, I get this. All I've got to do is, I don't have to worry about setting up Skype. All I have to do is just have a call, right? That's it. I mean, there's a lot of flexibility I could have here, you know? So we can play Who Should We Call Today? Who should we call? Who would chime in on the Zennie 62 live right now and make a comment? Wondering, let's see if we can have a little fun. Maybe we can get, the legendary Oakland council member Larry Reed. Maybe we can do that. Let's give Larry a call.
Subscriber you have dialed is not in service. If you feel you've received this message in error, please hang up and try your call again later. Message FL14556.
Wow. That was Larry Reed's number, folks. Oh, well, something happened. Okay. How about maybe we can get Chris Dobbins. Let's see what Chris is up to here.
Hi, reach Chris Dobbins. Please leave your name, number, and a brief message, and I'll get right back to you. Thanks.
At the tone, please record your message.
These are all surprise calls.
You may hang up or press 1 for more options.
Hey, Chris, Zennie Abraham calling. How you doing? I'm calling you. He's probably thinking, why are you referring to me that way? Well, I'm got my live stream show going, and I'm trying an experimental call. So I just wanted to see if you were available. So I'm leaving a message. It is 7:32 p.m. in the East. I'll talk to you later. All right. Can't get a hold of Chris Dobbins. Oh man, oh man. Who can we get a hold of? Oh, that's something else. Already talked to him. Maybe my buddy Vince. Hold on. He's a great guy.
Hello, this is Vincent. I'm currently away from the phone. If you please leave your name, telephone number, and a brief message. I'll get back to you as quickly as possible. Thanks a lot.
Hey, Vince, Zennie calling you. Surprise call testing my new YouTube live show system on desktop. I'll talk to you later. All right. Yeah. Oh, well, everybody's out doing meetings and everything else. Let's see here. Just scrolling through, trying to find out who might be available right now. Maybe, anyway. Mike Silver's sick. Mike Silver, the NFL Network, who broke the Nauticum Slim story that Nauticum is not coming to Oakland, is sick. So can't reach out to him. And yeah, maybe a surprise call. Let's try this. Call former Oakland Mayor Elihu Harris. Hey, Rob Iman, how are you? I'm calling former Oakland Mayor Elihu Harris right now. See if he's available. He doesn't expect my phone call. I'm testing my new YouTube live desktop system on this show. So,
please leave your message for 51021.
You're not supposed to hear that part. Hold on a second. Hey, Elihu, Zennie calling. Just trying to catch up with you again. I'm on YouTube live. So I'll talk to you later. All right, see ya. All right. So anyway, he's not available. So anyway, that's what's happening with call after call. Can't seem to get anybody, you know. Too bad. Yeah, maybe I wonder if Ray Perez would be maybe Ray Perez. Is it Perez? Hold on a second. Ray Perez. If you're wondering who Ray Perez is, Ray Perez was known as Dr. Death, all right? Legendary Oakland Raider fan, all right? What do I think about replacing Jody Crabtree? Oh, well, Marcus, I think you had that reversed. Jordy Nelson's the Raider, Crabtree's gone. So, there you go. Given the time, I think Dr. Death may be out. Marcus wants me to call John Gruden. If I had John Gruden's number, I'd call him.
You reached Ray Paris. I'm unable to get to the phone. Please leave a message, and I will get back to you as soon as I can.
Hey, it's Zennie calling you. I'm on YouTube Live and calling you out of the blue to surprise you and get your views on the latest interesting news about PSLs in Las Vegas costing $100,000 for the 50-yard line. Can you believe that? Even when in Atlanta, the highest PSL is just $45,000 on the 50 for a club seat. Outrageous. Give me a call. It's later. So anyway, all right. So, all right. So Marcus McCarvey asked me what I think of Jordy Nelson, about us bringing in Jordy Nelson and then not having Crabtree, all right? And he believes that Crabtree is more talented than Jordy, and but, you know, Crabtree also brings drama to the locker room. Yeah, I think that a guy like him, he's, you know, a great player, smart guy, veteran receiver, but I think Jordy Nelson brings in an added physical dimension that Crabtree lacked. Jordy Nelson could really not just get off the line of scrimmage, but quite literally muscle his way over the middle, you know? And so Rob Ivan says, Arthur Blank knows that Atlantans are not made of money. Well, neither are Las Vegans either. Do you realize that Las Vegas, I'm not kidding you, listen to this, okay? Las Vegas per capita income is among the lowest in the country. Did you know that? I think so, just a few years ago it was what, $17,000 or something like that, and there were jobs on the Strip that entry-level jobs are paying like poverty wage. So they are not thinking about Las Vegans. The Raiders aren't with these prices. As Rob Iman says, Mark Davis is trying to bank on the tourists. Well, good luck. I can't even see tourists eating. I can't even see tourists paying that kind of money. I can't. I mean, where are the tourists who pay that money going to come from? Canada? Where? Where's the market study to support a $100,000 personal seat license? I don't see it. Neither do you, right? Where is it? I just don't see it. Rob Iman says, call Billy Bean. But you know what I'm saying, right? I don't see this at all. Marcus says a Super Bowl will be in Las Vegas. Right, but the Super Bowl being in Las Vegas is an entirely different animal than a regular season. Okay, so charging $100,000 for the regular season, that's just crazy. That's absolutely crazy, you know? Who else can we who else I can call in or fly in on? Let's see. Hey, champ, can I call you for my show now? I'm just sending him a text. This is another common viewer of the Zennie 62 show. But I love this because now I've got hands-free for the phone. Woohoo! All right. Hands-free for the phone. This is cool stuff. So while I'm waiting on a response from him, who else? Who else can I reach out to here? Choices, and choices. Got I'm getting ideas here. Yeah, so not a come. Wow. Told the Raiders no. Sorry, folks. I'm going through my phone list here to see who else might be reachable. I wonder. Oh, yeah, that doesn't work for Van Jones anymore. Or maybe it does. Maybe we can get the legendary Van Jones, huh? I don't. Well, nah, Van's funny about that sort of thing. I'm not going to do that to Van. He gets weirded out about that. You calling you like the right? That's Van. That's Van. So wait a minute, I got a feedback here. Chris, okay, she's in meeting. Remember, Steve let them do the 1-to-2 ratio or 2.5. And I'm saying should have been 2.5, not 1.5. I'll explain what I'm doing in a second here. Hold on a second, folks. Talked to G about that. Sending a quick text having to do with this whole Vegas issue, all right? My point again is that Jessica Coleman is allowing a 1.5 to 1 debt coverage ratio. It should be 2 or 2.5. But 2.5, they could not even think of doing this kind of bond issue at all. Not even. Marcus McGarry says, who does Oakland pick up at 10? You know, I would like to see, Marcus, Oakland get Cortland Sutton. You talk about an upgrade from Crabtree. There's your upgrade from Crabtree, Cortland Sutton. But, of course, Raiders seem to want to stick with Seth Roberts. But Cortland Sutton out of SMU, I'm telling you, he is an all-pro. All right? Oh, speaking of all pros, did you hear about what Deion Sanders did? Boy, oh boy, that was horrible. I got this Deion Sanders, man, Deion, I'm telling you, it reminds me of a story. Let me explain what Deion Sanders did. Because it's worth noting, it's a sad case. Deion basically insulted a gentleman, Kevin Byard, who is an all-pro defensive back with your Tennessee Titans. And basically, this is how it went down, okay? How it went down was that trying to go and let's see. You've got see if it's still up here. It should be. And Carson, and where it should be is on Twitter. All right. So, oh, by the way, Starbucks has achieved a racial and gender equity position. Pretty good. All right. So, oh, by the way, the reported sale of the Carolina Panthers is impending. It's coming up. All right, here it is. Deion Sanders didn't realize he was trashing an NFL All-Pro. In defending his claim that Tyrann Mathieu was the best safety in the NFL, Deion Sanders, a Hall of Famer. Ah, here's Ray Perez. Hold on a second. Hey, Dr. Death, you got a second? How you doing?
Hey, Zennie, how's it going, man?
Outstanding. Folks, this is the legendary Dr. Death. Ray, I got as my first guest on my experimental YouTube desktop live, where I can actually now use my smartphone to call people. And folks, this man is legendary, and his contributions to Raider Nation should never be forgotten. And
thanks.
Oh, hey, you're the man. You're Mitch. You're the man. Hey, I want to get your view because you tweeted this out. What do you think of these reported PSL prices for Las Vegas at $100,000 on the 50-yard line?
I think they're absolutely absurd, and I want people to really understand that when people like myself, you, other Raider fans here in the Bay Area, that when we went to talk and advocate for the Raiders to stay here in Oakland, it wasn't just a stadium at all costs. We advocated for a stadium that was affordable, that didn't have all the bells and whistles like what Mark Davis said what he didn't want, what Mark Davis didn't want, as he mentioned to John Clayton in 2013. We wanted a stadium that was small enough, that was moderate enough, where it got the job done. We're going to pay a little bit more, but we're not going to be outpriced like the 49er fans are in Santa Clara. If I were to say something to Mark Davis, he should be ashamed of himself.
Yep.
You could say la vie to that blue-collar Raider fan. That's gone.
Yep.
Say RIP right now.
It's sad. Not only is it an obvious slap in the face to Raider Nation, no one in Las Vegas, and Ray, you and I, we live in the Bay Area. I just sent my rent back to Oakland. You know how much it costs to live in Oakland, and you know that in Las Vegas, there's no way, with their having, half of our income at best, that the common...
The median income in Las Vegas as of last week is $51,000. I don't even think people with that type of income could have afforded a cheaper PSL in Oakland.
Nope. Not at all. No way. And then here in Atlanta, they had a drive a year ago plus before the stadium opened to sell PSLs that get this $500 a pop, and they were allowing people to put down $50 deposits for their PSLs, just $50 for a $500 PSL. And then they had and prior to that, the PSL originally was going to be $1,100, right? And they realized, hey, that's not flying, so they came down on their price. And yet you have the Raiders. I mean, this is fantasy land, and
see, my question with all this, not just with the PSL. Someone had brought up one of a vlog you made a couple days ago with cost overruns, cost of steel. It's been stated several times how the Raiders would be responsible for cost overruns. I just have a question to and this is just an honest question. You may have to. I don't. But what is the threshold for the Raiders and or the National Football League where they say the cost overruns is too much? Is the threshold really high? Is it really low? Second of all, if the Raiders only raise under the $250 million expected for personal fee licenses, do they still get that loan from Bank of America if they don't meet the price that they're expected to raise for PSL?
Oh, but that's a good question. I think in terms of what the threshold is, in other words, how much they can stand, that's a good question. That's an excellent question. Now, as far as what Bank of America is going to look at is the Raiders, and they're going to give. Unfortunately, what they're doing is they're looking at the guaranteed maximum price first of all. And I say this to everybody: the guaranteed maximum price that's going to be announced, it's not set in stone. That thing's going to go up too, folks. Just watch. But I digress. I have to let that one go. The problem for the Raiders right now is that they're $410 million under what they need in terms of total revenues over a 30-year period for the stadium in order to be able to pay the stadium operations and then pay that loan back. You know, someone on Twitter, and I caution people to, let me say not caution, I ask people to stop throwing me numbers about gross revenues without calculating what the expenses are or knowing them. Because a guy yesterday said, oh, the stadium's going to clear $134 million in its first year. And I'm thinking, oh, dude. So I wrote back, hey, the actual number, according to the consultants, was $234 million, but they are keeping only 11% of that for stadium operations. 46% of that is events, and that's not to the Raiders. That's to, like, let's say you want to do the world's largest wedding or something like that. Maybe you want to do something where you have like 40 weddings go on at once, or maybe you're like marrying every Dr. Death in the history of Oakland. I don't know. The whole point, right? Okay, you keep that money as the event producer, right? You have to pay the rent to the Raiders. Okay, that's what they keep. But in terms of the total revenue, you keep that. Now, a lot of people don't realize that. All right, and so then you have to pay for the operations expenses. The original consultant report, Ray, said that the Raiders, the stadium, would only generate $309 million in terms of what are called non-event revenues. That includes naming rights. And that's over a 30-year period. So naming rights, they were figuring to be about, $210 million, all right? So I used all of their numbers, and then I parked in the Bank of America loan, and I got a $27 million deficit. And then I went back and I said, well, let me just lower, the land costs, the infrastructure costs, maybe just shave some money off there. And I still came up with a long-term deficit. What about if you change the natural grass to
AstroTurf, or not AstroTurf, they don't use AstroTurf anymore. Artificial.
Well, that's not, that's a small cost in the entire scheme of things. The big problem, the big question is, can they being the Raiders, do what the Falcons did? The Falcons raised over $1 billion in sponsorship revenues. They were able to take that. They did that right up front. So they're set, okay? Right up front. So they were able to take that, pay off the Bank of America loan already, and then have some money left over, okay? And then just keep making money from concessions and luxury boxes, for years to come, right? The Raiders are not in that position. And
can you explain that?
Yeah, because they haven't signed up anybody because the market is small. I mean, let me explain the difference between Los Angeles and Las Vegas is that, LA, the original proposal to put an LA team in an NFL team in LA in downtown drew a $700 million naming rights deal from Farmers for a stadium that to this day has never been built. And Farmers Insurance got a lot of play out of that because people just talking about their name left and right, right? That's LA. And in the case of the Bay Area and Chase Center, the Warriors are building right now, Chase Center is a $200 million naming rights deal for an arena, right? Because of in San Francisco. All right. Las Vegas is the 40th largest media market in the country. The problem is that people, because it's Las Vegas, they assume that Las Vegas is actually richer and wealthier and more valuable than it really is. In point of fact, Las Vegas, in point of fact, is really a poor place, dominated by casinos. You take casinos out of there, you've got nothing.
Right.
You know?
Very much so. And you know what, Zennie, I think that this argument, I think if you go back a year and a half, we're still making the same argument.
Yep.
None of our arguments have all. I think if anything, look, we're approaching a year since the crappiest decision one of the crappiest decisions sports history has ever made. Now, we're going on a year anniversary in about a week, and our feeling, our stance on how crap this decision is, not only has it not changed, but it's strengthened.
Right.
It's almost as if the more time that this goes on, the crappier this deal is. And here's the difference between now and before Levi's was built. People were kind of skeptical when Levi's was built, but they already had money invested in the Levi's. You were dealing with Jim York. They had good money.
Yep.
They were able to put double the crowd, and it happened, in a timely fashion. They didn't have to wait on pieces of legislature and Bank of America. They got it done quickly, and then after the fact, this isn't really a good idea. But before a real shovel hits the dirt and concrete is poured, people across the board, even people who didn't like or who loved the plan before, fans, are now saying maybe this isn't a good idea. Really, the question is, what will it take for Mark Davis to say, "Man, this is a bad idea"? Because he's the decision maker, right? He's the one that's in charge of the Raiders.
Right.
And he was quoted from Dick Tabor, whether it was tongue in cheek or not, but he said, he's going to go to Vegas even if he goes broke.
Yep. He said that.
What's the threshold? Does he hit? This is an honest question, this is just pure discussion. I'm not trying to ask, just any question. It's just an honest question.
Yeah.
Does Mark Davis hit that threshold before he even gets to Vegas?
I think that he won't hit it before he gets to Vegas. He'll hit it. Here's the situation. All the numbers we're talking about with respect to stadium operations right now are hypothetical until the thing is built. And if it's built, here is how this has to be thought of. Okay, if it's built, it would be because, first of all, the Clark County Commission, for some ungodly reason, decided to approve the bond, a gigantic bond issue of $750 million or even $650 million. A, B, Bank of America decided on the come to do the Raiders a solid, which is what it would be, and say, all right, here's your $850 million line of credit. What that pays for is the construction of the stadium. All right. Once that edifice is built, then you have to pay for operating it, and that is where the problems start. In other words, people would be doing him a favor by not allowing him to build it. Allowing him to build it is basically like, as far as I'm concerned, looking at those numbers, committing him to a financial death sentence, because there's no way in this earth or the next they're going to achieve those revenues on a per game basis. And the Super Bowl, look, what are they betting on? Are they betting on maybe the idea that gambling will be allowed? That'll be the only way they can recoup revenues. But even then, why price the thing in such a way that, you think, okay, this is the crown jewel of all NFL stadiums. No NFL stadium has a PSL price envelope like the Raiders. I mean, they're treating Vegas like it's some crown jewel, and yet it's not there. Look, you've got hotels. I stayed in Caesars. They give me a quasi suite for $100 a night. You know, the move with Old Bally's, I got a free room, but then the resort fee, they're jacking up the price on that. But it was a free room in a renovated place. It was a free room in a renovated unit. And my point is, you know, they expect people to come to Vegas and cough up tons of money just to watch a football game. Come on, it's crazy.
Speaking of taxes, Zennie, do you know where Clark County is in terms of where they're at of tax revenue, and are they at their threshold that they are expected to be in terms of raising taxes for the rooms?
They are. Clark County, as I read the last fiscal report, is because they isn't such that they are not in, as Fitch described it, a position of financial flexibility where they're able to raise taxes because they don't have a lot of tax sources. Okay, so if this bond issue bleeds into the general fund, all right, if it bleeds into the general fund, it would crowd out expenditures for other services. I want to respond to something because there's a guy here who always tries to figure out a new, oh, this is the barber, and the barber basically says, "Is this the barber?" No, I mean, somebody wrote something I'm going to respond to. Let me read it right here because it's hilarious. Oh, you know what? Hey, Ray, I gotta call you back. I'm getting this call. Okay, I gotta call you back.
Yeah, no worries.
All right, okay, all right, see you. All right. Hi, Zennie.
Hi, Zennie. This is Jessica Colvin from Clark County.
Oh, hey, how are you?
Good. How are you doing?
I'm very well, thank you very much. How's the weather back there?
It's actually a little cloudy. Nothing like back east, but.
Oh, okay. Hey, in fairness, you happen to call me when I'm on live right now, but I happen to be talking about the Vegas situation. Do you mind if I ask you some questions now? If that's okay?
Can you call me back?
Yeah, I'm happy to call you back. Yeah, but I don't want to because you're live right now, and I thought I don't want to do that to her. So.
No, I appreciate if you could call me back.
Oh, okay, you got it. How much time? How much time do you have? Let me coordinate that right now. So if we don't have to stop this and call you, and then get and resume, that would be fantastic. When's the best time for me to reach back to you?
I'm available. For the next couple of hours.
Okay.
Or tomorrow.
Okay, I'll call you back in the next few minutes. How's that? Because this is very important that I reach out to you and see if I can get some questions because I've been involved with this for a while.
Okay.
And in fact, it's like to give you a full picture. I was economic advisor to Oakland Mayor L.U. Harris when, and then I broke the story the Raiders were returning to Oakland in '95 when I wrote for the Montclair, and the LU hired me December 17th of that year. My background's in urban planning from Berkeley and Texas, Arlington. And I worked for the Oakland Redevelopment Agency. So basically back then, assistant city manager Ezra Rapport, and I had a similar conversation. And well, I'll tell you all that off, when I get off camera, but I want to give you, I'm just giving you some background where I'm coming from to approach that. And so I've got a lot of other experience to bear. So I look forward to speaking with you because I also know Guy Hobbs. He's a great guy.
Okay, great.
Okay, I'll talk to you soon. Thank you so much.
Okay, thank you.
Okay,
Bye-bye.
All right. That was Jessica Coleman. She is the Chief Financial Officer for Clark County. Let me call back Ray Perez. All right. And
hello?
Ray, sorry about that. That was the Clark County Chief Financial Officer. And yeah, and I didn't want to do her the disservice of a live conversation she wasn't aware of. So I asked her, and she said, "I prefer you call me back," because it's not personal, folks. It's only business. I'm just all right.
Of course.
Yeah, so that's the idea.
I can't chat for too much longer.
Oh, sure.
I'm leaving my job here in Oakland.
Okay.
Now, but I can talk about the next 5 minutes or so on that of my stuff.
You got it. Hey, folks. Hey, one of the best PR people in the Bay Area I'm talking to right here on the phone. Hey,
thanks, Zennie.
I need your help too, Ray, and I need you to help in telling the Oakland City Council that now $155 million of debt that was originally that $63 million so-called loan, it is still owed to us because get this, Ray, in a court case. Remember when the Raiders sued the NFL? Actually, I don't know if you remember age-wise, but the whole point is the Raiders sued the NFL. This is in 2001. The Raiders lost, and during that court case, this is in the hearing on this started March 12th of 2001. That so-called loan was called a payment, which the Raiders were supposed to share with the other NFL teams. So get this, the Raiders attorneys tried to get the court to say that payment was something they could keep, and the court said, no, you got to share it with the league. So my point is that $64 million that we gave to the Raiders was actually a precursor to the NFL relocation fees of today. It wasn't a loan. It wasn't, and because people say, well, it's non-recourse, we can't get it back. Oh, no. You can get it back. It's a little FYI for you. What do you think?
Yeah. You know what this means is that anything dealing with Oakland and policy, I just have no faith. I just have no faith in them.
I understand.
When you have somebody like Larry Reed, who has no business being in office anymore, who is bought, who doesn't put his constituents first, but it's really about himself, we can have the most clear-cut case in front of him, but I just don't have faith with certain Oakland politicians to be a visionary and take advantage and move Oakland forward. And this goes with anything. And I think this is, like Amazon and not coming into Oakland like Larry Reed projected, and Major League Soccer like Larry Reed projected also not coming in. You have all these things that are just slipping away from guys, like Larry Reed got picked on him. Mm-hmm. I just don't have faith in the Oakland politicians to do anything going forward. Now, does that mean that they're responsible for building a multi-billion-dollar stadium, and that's why the Raiders left? No. Because for being as inept as they are, as you and I know, they submitted proposals, they got the Raiders $5 million. But, and like I said, circling back around, anything dealing with policy, I just don't have any faith in politicians at all.
I have to say one thing in defense of Larry, only because personal note, Larry got me my job as economic advisor at Lee Harris after I wrote for the Montclarian. So that, I don't forget that. But also Larry's done a lot for the improvement of his District 7 from the people mover system to, other cleanups. So, there's a, but with respect to the Raiders, I do feel Larry needs to be appropriately criticized for holding the Coliseum situation too close to the vest in his position as the unofficial mayor of District 7, right? Because he's the council member, right? And not as you say, I do have to agree with you, taking the bold action and giving the Raiders the land. You remember that, and then other moves that really would have kept them here. That's really disappointing. And it seems like some other council members too are willing to build more market rate housing and not have affordable housing. And we could stop this homeless problem tomorrow. We could get not just housing for the homeless, but affordable housing. But instead, we've got CIM Group building this new 333 unit market rate apartment complex at 40th and Harrison and Jack London. Where's the affordability, right? So it's crazy, it's absolutely crazy.
Yeah, and
sure.
But there's one thing, right, that someone asked me a couple weeks ago, looking back, what is the one thing that I would have changed, or what is something different that I wish would have happened? And it really comes down, not necessarily just one thing, but there is a major thing that really stuck out. Is that there was absolutely zero. Well, what's the word? Here we go. There was zero. The word just escaped my mind. There we go. Transparency.
Mm-hmm.
There was zero transparency. I think you just alluded to it. They kept everything close to the vest, but they were so passive aggressive to the National Football League.
Yes.
They were too scared on pissing them off. Well, look what that got. And then that mentality is still there. We don't want to sue the Raiders. We don't want to sue the NFL because we don't want to lose out on a potential an expansion team. It took Los Angeles over 25 years to get an expansion team. What on God's green earth do you think you are going to get an expansion team in your lifetime? Get the hell out of here. Well, look, put down the crack pipe, the crystal, whatever you are smoking, put that down and you need to go into retirement for that dumbass statement. Okay? But because not you then, but the city of Oakland is so passive aggressive, what they should have done is they should have been transparent. They could have said, this is exactly what we've done with the National Football League. We've done with to this day, what did they really want? What did the NFL really want? We can pretty much guess. We can say, according to our sources, but there's nothing really official what they wanted. And if before you say the A's, within 4 months of relocation and being approved, the A's came out and said, we don't want the Coliseum property. Right. So what that tells me is the NFL made no move. They were absolutely zero intent on communicating with the Oakland A's and Dave Cabal. None. And what they did was they used the A's as their own hurdle until and then it was too late for us to call BS because the decision was already made.
Yep.
And it's because of the city of Oakland. They didn't call up the NFL. They didn't, and I do it here in my, I work in PR, right? And I work with certain clients, and I push back when they tell me, no, I don't want to do that. I go back and say, wait, hold on, wait a minute here. You may be my client, but hold on 1 second here. I'm going to push back on you, and you're not being rude, but you got to be assertive.
Yep, that's right.
You got to be assertive because you got to say, look, we want to do this responsibly, of course. I don't want to spend extra taxpayer money that can go to my schools and my roads. But let me work with you. If the A's are a hurdle, can you meet with us so we can speak to the A's? So we're not playing who said, she said. Can you talk to Dave Cabal? Let's come together. How can we do this? But that never happened. And here's the thing. It's like this, right? We don't elect politicians to build stadiums, right? We don't elect them to build arenas. In Sacramento, we didn't elect Kevin Johnson to build the Golden One Arena, but he went above and beyond what was necessary to get it done.
Sure.
He's got all these sponsorships in Sacramento, nonetheless. I love my city, but it's nowhere near like it is in the Bay Area. It wasn't Kevin Johnson's responsibility, but he still got it done. And that's what's lacking in Oakland.
Yep, that's right. No, you're absolutely right. We become, I've said this before and I'll say it again, politically we become Berkeley. And the one thing I disliked about Berkeley when I was in grad school was that the city council was always spending its time issuing resolutions about what was going on in some other country, and you never heard about what they were doing just to fix, the bricks and mortar of the city. And now, if you look at the common Twitter account of any Oakland City Council member, it's always about what's going on in Washington and Donald Trump. I'm not defending the president at all, and I understand where they're coming from, but what about running the city? What about making sure that people can afford to operate a car? What about making sure people can have enough money to afford to pay for their homes, let alone stay in them? These are the nuts and bolts, kitchen table issues that Democrats need to pay attention to, or we're going to wind up not taking advantage of that window of opportunity we have to really fix government again.
And you know what, Ken? I've been I've been helping friends that are involved in Oakland politics. Oakland is almost set up to be in a position where you're going to have a non-politician possibly come in and say, we're sick of you.
Yep.
You can't get anything done. I'm not a politician. I'm not polished like you are. But I'm going to come in here with a respective idea. It's not a fresh idea, but it's something new. It's jagged. And they can really run on the platform of, I'm not a polished politician, but I can have people around me. I can have a team around me that we can get things done.
It's like Cynthia Nixon in New York, right? She could beat Cuomo, I think. I don't know what you think,
I'm not really in tune. Are you talking about the actor
Yeah, Sex in the City. Yeah. I think she can win.
I don't know her policies. I don't know what she's running on.
Oh, she's a Democrat. She's running on the idea that basically, to make it really simple and out of respect for your time, the same reasons that caused Dianne Feinstein not to get the party endorsement, those trimmers in the Democratic Party are impacting this new wave of Democrats that are running for office now, who are saying, hey, look, this old guard is not taking care of us as people. They're taking care of themselves. And that's what's going on.
Totally. And it really, any New Democrats or any Republican for that matter too, it's really all dependent on where you plan on taking your party, and I, in my opinion, this is just me, whatever candidate, and in Oakland too, runs on something that's simple and no nonsense, they have a good chance of winning, especially in this climate, and if they are non-political figures.
Right.
That's just my opinion. I totally could be wrong, and I understand I don't live in Oakland, but for the past few months, I've been kind of involved a little bit on the political sphere and kind of, dip my toe in the water and kind of get the sense, for lack of a better term. But, guys like Larry Reed, I think he's going into retirement, and Libby Schaaf, she's running for mayor. I believe so still.
Re-election.
I think for re-election, excuse me. Yeah, right. I think they need to be a little worried because if they have a non-politician run against them and they catch some steam, it's not going to be a good day for them.
Yeah, that's true.
But Zennie, hey, I got to get going. Thank you always for the call.
Well, hey, thanks for the time, man. Yeah, and welcome to the new Zennie 62 Live desktop. This is the first time we used the day-old YouTube system for desktop, which allows me to call you on my smartphone. It's pretty cool. I like it.
Nice. So am I able to go back and listen to it?
You are. It's on right now. Yeah.
Oh, nice. I'll go back and go back and check it out. Hey, Zennie, as always, let's keep in contact. Thanks for the call.
You got it, man. Thank you. I'll see you. All right.
Bye-bye.
Folks, that was the legendary Dr. Death, and I've got another call before I have to pull away out of respect for the Clark County Chief Financial Officer, Ms. Colvin. This is Tor Cooper, the champ. Let's see if we can get the champ involved. Let's see. Oh, by the way, the guy who someone says Oakland had a chance for the Raiders to stay for years upon years. That's BS. I don't know where you get that idea from, but starting in 2011, the Raiders made noises about Mark Davis going to LA. Only 1 year did the Raiders focus on trying to build the stadium in Oakland. That was 2013. Even then, they were flirting with San Antonio. And then they started this whole Vegas issue in 2014. Hey, it's Zennie calling on live right now. I'm going to have to try you back another time, but wanted to call you. I've got to end this show and then make some other calls, but I'll talk to you later. All right, see you. All right. That was Tor Cooper, the champ. He said, give me a second. I did. He wasn't ready, but that's happens. All right. So anyway, but the whole point is, well, thanks, Terrell. Yeah, but the whole point is for you to say that you're wrong, okay? Let me explain something to you because you're undoubtedly much younger. The Raiders were enticed to come back to Oakland in 1996. In 2007, around the time that Levi Stadium was finished, the Raiders were given the option of moving over, okay? Then Raiders CEO Amy Trask said, and this is a quote in the San Francisco Chronicle, they were very happy with the Oakland Coliseum. All right, that was 2007. Coliseum City was born as an concept in 2004 and presented to then Oakland Mayor Ron Dellums and the Sports Entertainment Task Force in 2009. How do I know that? I was on the task force. You can see the video talking about it. You just click, or you just type Coliseum City Origins right here at Zennie 62 on YouTube. You can watch the whole 30-minute video for yourself. That Coliseum City concept was formed and made room, and within it made room for the Raiders. The Raiders never once. Hold on a second. I'm gonna have to let this thing go. Well, it's like, hey, Vince, can I call you back, or do you want to be on my live show real quick? Okay, thanks. All right, see ya. All right. That was my buddy Vince, real estate expert du jour. But at any rate, my point is that the Raiders never once, and you can never find an artist rendition of any stadium they would want built in Oakland to replace the Coliseum. They haven't come up with anything. Only two drawings. The conceptual drawing, which people jokingly call a stick figure, that I came up with after Mark Davis asked me to come up with a plan, and the one that Floyd Kephart had an architect make for him, which was, you know, one panel, and that was introduced maybe just 1 month before he was booted from the project because he didn't have the financial wherewithal to move forward. But the Raiders have spent money twice to show us what kind of stadium they wanted to look like, first in Carson, and then they took what they did in Carson and put it in Las Vegas. So don't tell me Oakland ever had a chance, because we were never given a good faith opportunity to respond. How would you like it if, say, you were dating someone and your lady that you were dating, if you're a guy, said, oh, you know, you are her boyfriend, and then you all make plans, and at some point you're going to propose to her and everything, and she's making all these overtures. At the same time, she's actually dating someone else, and it turns out that she's making plans to marry that person, and then she marries that person. How would you feel? That's exactly the situation, okay? You didn't know about it. She didn't tell you, and yet she was acting like she liked you and was in love with you. That's the situation. So don't ever let it come out of your mouth, not even once, that Oakland had a chance. Oakland did not have a chance. And for you to think that is absolutely nuts, period. All right? So anyway, Terrell asked who booted Kephart. Kephart was booted by the Oakland City Council and the mayor, Mayor Schaaf, because he didn't have the finances he claimed to have. And he just didn't have the backing to do what he purported he could do in terms of developing Coliseum City. And also he was trying to basically work a deal where if he got our public money investment, it would lead to him owning 20% of the Oakland Raiders. So basically he was going to be using the public trough to make himself a near billionaire, a multimillionaire. That was a situation. Okay, as opposed to someone being a multimillionaire like Lonnie Lott having his own money to bring into the situation. That wasn't Kephart. Kephart was going to take our money and use that to buy himself into the Raiders. That was the problem, okay? All right. Hey, John, I'll see you guys. I got to get off the phone so I can return, get back to talking to Ms. Colvin. I thank you very much, everybody, for tuning into it. Was a lively show, and I love that this is actually better than using Skype, you know? And Rick Ray asked me, did I say Floyd Kephart? Yeah, I have heard that Floyd Kephart is in town. You know who might know the answer to that question? Let me see if I can get him on the phone real quick. Let me see if I can ask Steve Lowe. Let me see if I can get Steve Lowe. Because Steve Lowe told me that. Let me see if I can get Steve Lowe on the phone. Hold on a second. If anybody would know, Steve Lowe would know. All right. Steve Lowe. Oh, by the way, if you're watching this and want to recap, you have to like wind back. It's because we're an hour and 14 minutes into this. Let's see here.
Yeah.
Steve?
Hi, Zennie.
Hey, I got Steve Lowe. Hey, Steve, how you doing? I'm on live on my show. I got a question for you. So I'm trying to clear up. Yeah, folks, this is the legendary Steve Lowe, one of Oakland's great idea men and developers. Hey, Steve, you were telling me, how you doing, by the way?
I'm doing okay. I'm sort of getting in my car.
All right, only take a second.
I
I'll need a second. Floyd Kephart, did you tell me that he was snooping around Oakland?
Oh, he's always looking here. I think he feels that, the proposals he's made are valid. And I don't know if he still has the same representation here that he had when he was trying to buy the whole Coliseum complex. But I don't know. I don't have his number anymore. Or if I do, it's in my database at home.
Okay.
So I can get it to you.
Yeah, then I'll let you get on with what you have to do because I don't want to get you in trouble.
Well, I'm thinking, Zach Wasserman was his lawyer.
Ah,
there at,
right.
Wendell Rosen. And he might have better information.
Okay.
But I think if Floyd is in the middle of a deal or something like that, I'm sure that Zach wouldn't be able to tell you that.
Yeah, Zach has always been great about protecting his clients, but I'll call the man that John Russo our former city attorney and still great friend of mine, used to call Zach of Potatoes.
No, I think Zach is one guy. I think that Bill Purcell was working with him through the Save Our Sports group, because Bill was on the board of that. And so any of the guys at Save Our Sports would likely know. Matter of fact, they had a meeting Monday that I couldn't make. And who else is on that board that we know? Well, Dobbins, of course. And
Phil Lupo, I think is. Yeah, Lupo. It's among other people. I'll check it out for you. Hey, I'll let you go because I know you got to do things, but I appreciate the time, folks. Remember the name Steve Lowe, Oakland legend. They're still talking about our interview, Steve. So I got to have you back.
Okay, Zennie. Thanks for calling.
Okay, I'll see you. All right, see you.
All right, bye.
See you. If you're ever in downtown Oakland, you go to Old Oakland. The man that was on the phone was the original developer of Old Oakland. Okay, he's one of a couple of guys, but Steve Lowe, visionary developer. All right, so John Mark says, Zennie, what did I miss? Oh boy, a lot. I gotta go and make a phone call right now. So I'm gonna stop this live stream. It's lasted an hour and 18 minutes, which ain't so bad at all. I want to thank everybody for tuning in and share this around. This has been a cool one. And it's nice to have the hands free and the phone free, and I can get up and make a phone call, and it's easier to use than using Skype, right? Although I could still use Skype for live streams over here, okay? And wait, hold on a second. It's the champ. The champ is here. Oh man, I thought I was gonna lose you. Hey, can I get you real quick before we close out the show?
Oh yeah.
Cool. Hey, folks, this is a legendary tour group. We call him the champ. The champ is in the building. How you doing, man? Hey.
What's going on, Zennie?
Hey, man. Hey, you've been on a legendary show. First of all, I got my new YouTube Live desktop, so I'm able to talk to you now on the phone as I'm going through the show, just like, it's really cool. And what do you think of the news, first of all, that Nottingham Sue canceled on the Raiders? Because thank you for telling me about that.
That part wasn't really an issue. I already knew that would have happened because as long as he was in LA with the Rams, they were whining and dining him like he was, he's my friend Cardi B. And so, like with that, it wasn't, I mean, like I said, between the Rams, the Titans, and the Saints, all three of them were whining and dining him like he was the hottest thing since sliced bread.
Yep.
And it wasn't really anything that I expected to happen that he would show up. But, at the end of the day, he's making his choices. He's a man who's going to make his own choice. And whenever team he goes to, doesn't make
you're gonna be mad.
Yeah, that's true. Hey, what do you think of the news that the Raiders are going to charge a $100,000 price for a personal seat license on the 50-yard line in this Vegas stadium plan?
You said they're gonna charge what?
$100,000.
Who's gonna pay that? I'm like, oh, I'm sorry, not unless your name is Nelly, Diddy. Let's see, anybody heavy rapping in the game right now? I'm sorry, you could even. I mean, I'm sorry, even if you a lawyer, you're only gonna pay $100,000 for a personal seat license and the ticket price too.
And correct me if Nelly's in Atlanta. I don't think he spent that kind of money here. The most expensive PSL in Atlanta is $45,000. And they better hope that the Sultan of Brunei is not buying into it, because the Sultan of Brunei has issues with, homophobia and everything else. I mean, my goodness.
Can you say, let's see, Titanic?
Yeah, I can say it.
Titanic?
Yep.
Pretty much. I'm like, but no.
Yeah, we can say Titanic without even evoking the name Leonardo DiCaprio, right? Wow. I mean, So what, in your view, does this do to Raider Nation? What does this do to Raider Nation, this kind of news?
I don't know. It all depends on the type of fan the person is. Because if you think about the actual person or fan that, I'm going to use Dr. Death word, fandom that people have, it can either some news will be happy, some will be happy, because then that means they feel like living a hope that the deal could go south. I'm talking about like South as far as I'm talking about South as, our president, the president wanting to build a wall between us and Mexico. That's again, I digress, Zennie. Sure, I digress. At the end of the day, it's like I said, it all depends on the person's fandom and how they feel about it. Because some people are going to be upset, some people are going to be happy. So you got to have, the risk and the rest is normal. The people that don't come to Oakland, or they're the ones that do the most talking because they don't come to Oakland to actually experience the actual Coliseum. So, it's going to be one of those it's going to be interesting to see the reaction of it. So it really will be.
I don't know of anybody who's a Raider fan that can actually afford this, even among those who are wealthy. The people that I know who are wealthy, I'm not going to drop in a name, but they like to be down with the people, as they put in the black hole, not spending $100,000 for a PSL on the 50-yard line. So the idea that this Raider fan exists, and then somebody put out here, what did it say? What did they say? Oh, the casinos will buy them all up. The casinos, why would the casinos spend that kind of money on a 50-yard line seat that someone wouldn't want to have if you have all these casinos that have money problems themselves? That doesn't make any sense to me. I mean,
that doesn't. I think the people that are actually making those accusations or making those actual statements are fishing. They're hoping that does happen.
Right.
You go fishing, and you go fishing thinking that it's going to happen, and you hope it does. But at the same given time, not everything happens the way you want it to, not the way it's supposed to happen. Me, myself, and I'll be honest with you, I've pretty much lost quite a bit of respect for Mark Davis, because of the fact that regardless of everything else, if you are the owner of a team and if you want to make money, all you have to do is build an Oakland, and whatnot. And like I said, I kind of like look at this on the fact, like, if you really want to, because you said you wanted ingress, egress, parking, and everything else. You're in the middle of three major airports in Oakland: San Jose, Oakland, and San Francisco. You also have Amtrak that comes through there. You have BART that runs through there. You have parking that goes through there. That's there. I'm sorry, where do you not make money at? How do you not make money from all that and you're still central okay to keep your fans and your fan base. I mean, I don't. Well, I guess they say common sense is not common to everybody. Look more common sense stupid. There are people that are like that, and I'll actually put them in that category. If you have an issue with saying that, you can come find me. If you know who I am, you can come find me, and we can have a discussion about it.
Mm-hmm. Yep, makes sense to me. Hey, man, I'm gonna have to let you go because I got to call the Clark County Chief Financial Officer, and not for the show, it's a private conversation. But hey, man, want to have you back, and then also want to thank you again for calling. And this is the chant, folks. And you can watch yourself right now if you just tune in, and you'll just rewind it, and you can see all the great conversations. I want to thank Ray Perez, Jessica Colbert for allowing me to talk with her live. And even though I say, look, I'm not going to put our conversation on live, but she happened to call while I was on live. And she's the Clark County's Chief Financial Officer. And just, a great show, and all the other people I tried to call who I couldn't get a hold of. John Marks asks, is there going to be a live stream later tonight? Maybe. I think so, yeah. But I was doing this experiment, and I think it was going to last maybe a few minutes, and this is cool. This is more fun than actually using my smartphone for mobile, right? Which I like using too, but there's a flexibility where I can have interaction and calls and everything else. So yeah.
Exactly.
All right, my man, I'll let you go.
All right, then.
Okay.
Look forward to being on the show again soon.
You got it, man. I'll see you. Okay.
All right. Later.
I see you. Yeah, John Mark says you want to come. Yes, everybody else watching, I'd love to have you on and just call in. You got my email, send me your number, and we can do that later tonight. But right now, I got to go, okay? Because I got to make some calls. See you all. Wax on, wax off. Dilly dilly. Share this on your social media graph everywhere. Okay, see you guys. See ya. Okay, see ya.